Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name remains Kudrat. You're welcome back to the channel for another session of the scholarship application discussion. For today, we'll be discussing the Mastercard scholarship application to the University of Cape Town in South Africa. So I have a senior colleague here who won the Mastercard scholarship to study in the university, and she'll be introducing herself and discussing everything we need to know to win the scholarship. Let us know you, Temi. Your name, state
Okay.
of origin, the universities you attended.
Thanks, Kudirat, for the platform. I'm really grateful for the privilege. So, first, my name is Temi Tokwe Rebecca Delola. I just prefer to be called Temi. And I finished my bachelor's degree from FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure, and then proceeded to further my master's at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. So, for my bachelor's degree, I studied forestry, but for master's degree, it was master's by dissertation in conservation biology. So I'm from Oyo State, Nigeria, but based in Lagos. So I think I answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for showing up among amidst your schedules. Do you think all the Mastercard program at UCT are dissertation based, or there are some other types? Let us start.
One okay. First of all, let me say that applying to South Africa is somehow dicey in the sense that different schools in South Africa, because now we have Mastercard beyond UCT. So we also have the scholarship Western Cape, Pretoria, and they're still looking forward to extending. So each
Yeah.
school has their own procedure. So, but I'll be focusing on UCT. So for UCT, like they have masters by dissertation base. They also have masters by coursework and mini dissertation. So different programs, but for the coursework, like they always have limited numbers of students they want to enroll, and it's like focus on having international students. So, but most time, most people like we go for dissertation. Aside,
Mm.
maybe you just want to focus on research only, based on other purpose. For someone like me, I did research only because I also wanted to work and have time for experience in the industry. But it's the easiest to kind of like find a supervisor, because at the end, maybe for a coursework, a course program, they want to take in only 12 students. What about others that have funding? What will happen to them? So that's why you see most people then having to look for supervisor that will supervise them, so that they can be able to use the funding and the scholarship. Because I mean, for myself, like there was a time when I got the Mastercard scholarship, I didn't have admission. But then I applied for admission. I wasn't given admission. So then I had to defer
Even
for
with the
another year.
scholarship,
Yes. So you can actually get the scholarship without having admission. So admission is very more difficult to get than the scholarship itself. So at the end, I had to look for a supervisor so as to be able to use the scholarship since I wasn't given the coursework program.
that's different. I think for you UBC, it is just together. When you get the
Yeah.
admission and the scholarship, they work hand in hand, sort of.
Yeah.
Why do you think the scholarship to UCT is unique? Like the uniqueness.
Um, okay. Let me just say, like, not just to UCT, I would say Mastercard is Mastercard. Admission may be the only difference that differs. Different schools with different processes. But the Mastercard scholarship, I would say the reason why it's unique for me as a person is just the diversity, like beyond the academic strength. For example, other scholarship, yeah, most time you see people maybe having okay, let me start from the stronger grades. I, as a person, like I didn't finish with a first class, but then I had like a second class upper degree. I wouldn't even say my second class upper degree was that very strong. So, but then Mastercard looks beyond that. For example, they look at your vision, they look at your service to your country, ability to give back, what you've been doing, and they try to even understand your prospect, how they can support you. And let me say, Mastercard is more focused on youths that have visionary goals in terms of you having projects to do in your country. So if you have a project you want to do in your country, but you only need the platform to do more. So Mastercard focus more on community-based services, your experience, volunteering ability, more of, and that's why I've heard someone says that most time, especially at UCT, that Mastercard do not pick people that graduated with first class. That a lot of people that came in are people like myself. That why are they doing that? But beyond that, they are looking for people who can actually do beyond. Like when they look at your CV, they want to see your grade, but they also want to see some experiences. Like this is what you are doing. Okay, this one has the potential to do this project, because at the end they also have some entrepreneurship fund, diverse fund to support students in implementing projects. So they want people who can actually utilize this funding. Yeah, so that's why I would say, I mean, Mastercard is actually unique.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think I had a supervisor. I got a supervisor at UCT when I was applying, but the admission and scholarship didn't work. So, is there any age limit to apply for Mastercard at UCT? Any age
Yeah, it
limit?
also depends. It also depends, but because initially Mastercard back then, usually they always give this age limit of okay 30, but somehow now, especially if you are female, now there's like some bending factors, like okay, if you are between, it depends on university. At UCT, so you see like maybe up to like 33, especially for females, like you can still apply. For guys, I won't, like most time they look at you like 30 to like 30, okay, yeah, you can. But females, they understand that some factors might be involved, so, and they try to be considerate, but still, like, I mean, they're gender sensitive as well. So they try to apply. And I've seen some scenarios whereby people apply. And that's why, like, in letter of motivation, you also try to prove some points to them. Maybe you know you're not qualified for this, but then in your letter of motivation, you are able to justify the reason why. So I think it's also one of the reasons why they are unique. They try to be considerate and even look beyond their limitation. Like these are the factors we set, but if for you to have applied, so what do you want us to know? Stuff like that. Yeah,
I think that's nice. Looking at different things, yeah.
yeah.
You talked about motivation later. For some Mastercard application, for instance, the
Mm,
UBC, they have essay questions. So, do
yeah.
you mean for UCT, there's no, they don't have essay questions, but you need to attach motivation letter?
UCT also have essay questions, and I would say most of the questions, even for UBC, it's the same. But most time, every year they always upgrade, but at the end, it's still the same question. But maybe they only had additional thing that might be relating to, I mean, still to say why you want to study at UCT, your long-term
Yeah,
goals. Like, and I think the last question is like, why, I think it's also at UBC, why you think you deserve the scholarship and stuff. So it's for Mastercard because it's global. It's always the same essay,
I think it's the
but then
same
they
thing.
can, yeah, it's the same thing. So they can only chip in some few things, but at the end, it's still the same.
What are the documents to needed for applicants apart from the
Well,
certificates and transcripts?
okay.
Other requirements.
Now, I would say this kind of differs by countries as well and by university. So for Mastercard at UCT, it also like differs every year. I can remember I was coaching someone on to apply to University of Cape Town, and I did the same in the previous year. So when I was checking, I noticed like they've changed a lot of things. So yeah, so they change requirements, what they want like every year. So what is applicable this year might not be applicable the following year, but something is constant, like your degree, your CV, your letter of motivation, of course, your reference letters. Then admission is also like very important, because there were some people that got the scholarship, no admission, but then there were people that got admission, no scholarship, and then and then the people with admission out to like justify like writing to them again, like I have admission, blah 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 blah, because at the end they have certain numbers of people they want to give scholarship to, and then you start seeing that there's still opportunity to give scholarship but no admission. So people with admission will then email that, even though maybe you feel you're not qualified, you email them like this, and they try to consider you. So UCT is somehow, I don't know, complicated in terms of its application. And that's the first school I noticed that you have a scholarship, but you don't have admission. So it's very dicey. But the major document is like your CV, your degrees, and the CV needs to be well tailored. Your letter of motivation, very important, the most important for me, because this is where you try to express yourself, communicate to them like, I really deserve this scholarship and I worth getting this scholarship. Then your reference letter, in the reference letter, you have academic reference letter. There's something I used to do. I don't know if it's right, or maybe I used to overdo. Even though I will have my two academic reference letter, I'll still get a reference letter from community engagement.
Okay, from
Still,
NGOs you worked with.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll still add it to it like, this is a reference letter from this NGO attached. And I think it usually works too. Like they want to see like you are really engaged. So I think those are the things. That's one I know is constant. So every other thing is like additional. So and the admission letter additional. So yeah, and the scholarship usually come out like application comes out before applying to admission in the school. So you apply, you get the funding, you wait for admission. I mean, each city is that it's customer complicated in terms of
So,
application for
so
scholarship and
applicants,
admission.
okay, so applicant need to watch out for application cycle first.
Yes, yes,
Okay, before the scholarship opens.
yes.
Okay. So another question would be at UBC, they have a list of program for which they have the scholarship available, like for masters in forestry, blah blah blah. At UCT, do you have this kind of list, or they can apply to any department?
At UCT, actually you can apply to any department, but sometimes they actually list out some departments that maybe they are not funding for the year. So it's one's responsibility to keep track of the website, like, okay, these are the courses they are not supporting this year. But usually you can apply to any department. Like, but when it comes to like studying, like for example, medicine, they haven't been supporting that. But for other programs you can always apply. But if there's going to be a clause, and it's always differ every year, the courses they are not supporting this year, next year you see that they are supporting. So maybe it's based on later they'll do some financial auditing and try to understand that, okay, we can't really support students for this program this year. So it's not like something constant. So one needs to keep an eye on the website, like, okay, this program, they are supporting this program this year. And sometimes they won't write anything, which means you can apply to whatever institution you want to apply to.
So do you think do they fund visa processing and all for awardees?
Okay, this is how it is. It's not like UBC, because I think UBC usually send money to people right from Nigeria to apply for their visa. But in the case of UCT, you have to be responsible for yourself, but you will get your reimbursement once you get there. So once you get
Okay,
there, you apply for reimbursements and you will get all the money for the expenses you cover from your country.
I think that's cool too. So how was the visa processing like in Nigeria? Was it time
Okay.
consuming? Was it very easy?
I would say South African visa generally is stressful. I mean, it takes time, except you
Even
are
for
lucky.
scholars.
It's stressful. It's stressful. Like it takes time, but then try to apply like on time. Like for example, it depends. Like during my time, I have people that got their visa under 2 weeks, and I have people
That's
that it took us 3 months. I have people it took them 6 months. Yeah, so it depends. Some people miss coursework because of the visa, and then they have to start looking for supervisor to, accept them for research-based program. So wanting to, you don't know what is likely to happen. Wanting to apply on time, at least just try to program minimum of 3 to 4 months. But then you can still get it within 2 weeks. It depends. Even renewal right from their own country. Well, when I was still in South Africa trying to renew my visa, it took like more than 6 months.
that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. So it depends, like I said.
So was Mastercard to UCT the only scholarship you applied for during your scholarship application journey? Can you share us a little bit of your story?
That's a long story. Well, I would say like I started looking into Mastercard UCT South Africa. That was since 2018, and that was because I went to South Africa 2017 for a conference. And because I was in the country, so then I started looking for opportunity to further my education in the country. But that was the first scholarship I applied for. But it wasn't like the results came out immediately. In between, I applied for UBC, University of UBC Mastercard, and I applied twice. The two times I was called for interview, but the final wasn't always successful. And I also applied for some Erasmus program. There was a scholarship in Sweden. I mean, I applied with a friend. I can't remember the name.
I think we
Yeah, I think
were
I,
both like UBC interviewee for 2 years consecutively.
yeah,
Both
for
of
good
us.
2 years. Like, and then at
Yes.
the end for the UBC, they recommended me for World Bank. I was
Okay.
recommended for World Bank scholarship. The
But
only
you already
problem with the
won.
World Bank scholarship was that World Bank were like, I need to have a minimum of, I think, 2 or 3 years experience, but it needs to be, they counted from the date written on my, after the date written on my bachelor's degree. So I didn't have up to that years of experience. And that was for masters of international forestry. I mean, UBC. They really tried for me, but it didn't work out. So then I tried the program, Master Erasmus. I tried this week. I tried that as well.
Yeah. That, but you had the experience, like 2 years.
I tried that when I was in Nigeria. It didn't work out.
Okay.
But then the Mastercard UCT, which was my first application, that was the one that I eventually got. And I was like, okay, let me go for it. But you understand, like, okay, we learn with time. Like when I was still at UBC, I was still applying for other master's program as well, somewhere else, like open to, I don't know if I'll get a job, a PhD, but I just don't want to go back home, like sitting down, not doing anything, like what next? But in between, I applied for internship programs. Like during my master's, I had like internship first with IUCN, and then I applied for internship with FAO as well. And then I reapplied for that scholarship at Dresden. I applied for Erasmus program. I applied for some PhD, but as at that time, I got everything. I got Erasmus. I got that. I got the PhD funding. And but eventually I made my choice because I got a job as well with FAO. So then I decided to like, okay, let me just keep working. Let me take a break from study for now.
So after the degree in South Africa, can the awardees can they stay back in South Africa or they have to move out, like the Commonwealth?
And you have to move out like the Commonwealth. I mean, before you even finish your program, they would have booked your flight to
Really?
return back to you.
I never knew this. I never knew this.
To return, you can't stay back. You can't. They expect you to go back to your country, and except you got an internship. So if you get an internship, they have internship plan for us, at least minimum of 2 or 3 months. So if you get an internship in South Africa, then you can decide that, okay, I want to extend. But still they expect you to leave after your internship. So if you get a job in the country, so if you leave, then whoever gives you a job should bring you back.
Okay. So even with that, we can't even talk about you getting dependent into South Africa and staying. No,
No, no, it's not
no.
like UBC.
It's all, yeah. So how will you describe South Africa studying system compared to Nigeria?
I no. Well, South African study system, I know of University of Cape Town, let me say, which is the top
Yeah.
in Africa. So I would say for me, I didn't do a program like by coursework, but then I could see some program, especially assisting my supervisor then too. So it's very tedious. And the study system is like they use international standard and also try to update their curriculum. And one thing I also like about it, for example, the conservation program by coursework, I was assisting at some point. I was a research-based student, but I was also assisting students that were doing coursework. For example, even though like each lecturer has their own curriculum, but sometimes they also give students like most publications like by FAO, by UN, by this, so they give them to go to read it in class, discuss it. It kind of keeps you in a way that you are globally inclined to know what is happening outside the world. At least you are updated. You are not outdated with maybe outdated knowledge, a curriculum that is not being updated. So you know what is happening, you know the latest knowledge. So You have your curriculum, like it's very tedious. Like you see students like not even having time for themselves. So even like if you're doing research based work, you have to generate your own data, go to the field, try to gather your own. So it's like PhD on its own, which is what I did. So I would say compared to Nigeria, they are more advanced in terms of technology, in terms of giving the latest knowledge to students and also updating their curriculum. So they also have their setback, but in terms of
Wow.
Nigeria, like
Mm.
it's more advanced.
So, how easy do you think getting internships is, especially for undergraduates in Nigeria? Because you had the opportunity while in South Africa. Do you think it will be easy for undergraduates in Nigeria to get IFRO, FAO internships from Nigeria?
Well, what if you ask me this question maybe as at last year, maybe I'll say it's not easy. But I really don't understand the concept because okay, in terms of the internship, I would say the university you are matters a lot. Because what I realize is sometimes they also check the ranking of your university to know where they want to pick their students from. And also they if they check your ranking, they also check what you've been doing so far. Yes, it's internship. You're like, I'm supposed to be trained. I want to learn. But in the real sense, they're also looking for someone who has the knowledge to like you join the team and it's easier for you to catch up, easier for you to rapport with them. When I did my first interview with IUCN, I was in South Africa, but I also know a colleague right here in Nigeria that also did interview for the same position. So yes, so which means that it doesn't matter if you're in Nigeria or South Africa. At the end, they check your profile, your ability to deliver the skills, to deliver on the job. And also, when I moved to FAO, I will okay. I already resumed my job position there. I just rounded my internship. Then I met a lady. She's a Nigerian, and she only have a bachelor's degree. She's yet to do her master's even till now, and she came on internship at FAO in Rome. She's still doing her internship. So I'm like, wow, undergraduate internship in Rome. Like I started thinking like for her, like how did she do it? I wasn't really informed during my bachelor's degree,
And
to
I
rather
think
than going for
information
master.
is key because
Yes,
so
yes.
many people, I've received so many messages from forestry students. How can we get international internships? But because I do not have the experience, I interviewed Sam
Mm,
Falano or Fajano. I don't know his surname now. I can't remember. And he had the experience. He was in Austria for internship as an undergraduate. So he shared so many tips that can help. But because you were already in South Africa then, I was trying to get more information that can help them. So with this example now, I think they would know that they can try, they can apply,
yeah,
and they can.
yeah, they
Ah,
can. Information is just key, like apply. And
sincerely.
sometimes on LinkedIn, I have friends like because at work you see a lot of people, for example, like okay, I'm working and I need an intern to join me immediately. I know that it takes a lot of process on the FAO portal. You see, like most people write on LinkedIn, hi, I'm looking for an intern to join my team. It's not something stressful. It's not like a real, well, it's a real position you work, but it's not like the real consultancy position. So I have a friend that just saw a kind of message like that on LinkedIn and just messaged the person immediately, and that was how she joined.
Wow.
So as a bachelor student, I think it's even better because when you go for internship abroad or anywhere, it helps you to also align yourself purpose. When you want to do masters, you know that this is where I want to do my masters. It's just that having a master's degree give you an upper edge to get the
Above,
internship position. Yeah,
okay, but you can still get it with your bachelor's, even as an
you can
undergrad.
get it. Yeah.
So tell me, I would love to ask: did you choose forestry to study forestry, or
I
how
always
did?
say that I think most of my article is always written as I never chose forestry, but forestry chose me.
Oh, I never read that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I think Aifro gave me an opportunity to write something, so I wrote it there like that. But I never chose forestry. I think I applied for a pre-degree program in microbiology. So, but then I was given forestry, and I was hoping like, okay, let me finish this pre-degree. I'll still apply for other programs.
I'll change later.
So I did 100 level. I wasn't really serious because I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do this program. But because I also don't want to stay back at home.
I
So I was
understand.
like, okay, yeah, let me just stay here while I wait time, apply for another jam, move on with my life. The interest actually came in from 200 level. I won't even say it was 10% interest. But
Hmm.
I think the only interest was based on the fact that I joined IFSA.
Okay.
So it
So you met
connected me
so
to the,
many people.
yeah, so it connected me to the global world. And then I started looking at it like, okay, maybe forestry might be wrong in Nigeria, and maybe it has a different perspective in the international world. So what is this all about? So I started thinking like, let me join IFSA to try to understand forestry beyond classroom, what is happening at the global scale and stuff. But the even third year, yeah, third year was when I decided like, okay, I really want to study this program. I've been in the line forestry from second year, even joined IFSA, but I was still contemplating, do I really want to stay here? Will this thing feed me? Like, I didn't come from a rich family. Like, will this thing
Exactly.
feed me?
Need money.
So, yeah, even my dad wasn't happy. He would always ask me, so where do you see yourself working? Will you work in the forest? And he's a carpenter. He's like, oh, you want to join me in this carpentry job? You know, I really don't know how to justify it to people. Sometimes I would even lie to them that I'm studying microbiology. I won't tell them I'm studying forestry. Yeah, I lied. But the
Before they call you a shogbo.
yeah, but the whole interest then pick up, I think 300 level second semester. So that was when I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I would not limit myself to Nigeria. I need
Exactly.
to put myself at the global scale, and which is still what I'm doing till now. Yeah.
So my next question will be a two-in-one kind of question. What would you tell someone in 20? I think you get admission into FUTA in 2012 before I did. In 2012, in 2010, let's go back to 2010 now. What will you tell someone who you find maybe studying forestry then? And in 2024, what will you tell a forestry student?
Hi, in 2010, if I'm to go back to 2010, someone studying forestry, I think what I would have told the person would be, because let me imagine myself in 2010 studying forestry and having the knowledge I have now. I think I would even be in a better position and be well known. Reason being that forestry was not really accepted very well, even as at 2012. Now imagine 2010. So it means that if I know someone who is studying forestry, I think I will tell the person to take it serious, and not just taking it serious and limiting yourself to Nigeria. Try to connect yourself to the global world, because then there were a lot of issues, lot of funding to address issues, lot of opportunity. But that's if you are informed or you were
Mm.
informed about it. So the whole thing is not like not limiting yourself to the classroom experience, what your lecturer has to tell you. What you can also make research, key into the international world, make yourself relevant, and try to seize the opportunity, because opportunity does not wait for anyone. Like, seize
No,
the moment to
it doesn't.
shine, seize the moment to grow. Now 2024, some things that was not really competitive back then is now competitive.
Mm.
Like, a lot of people are studying forestry now. Like, imagine, maybe I don't even think they were on up to 100 studying forestry at 2010, but now we are more than, and everybody wants to shine. So 2024 now, I think my advice studying forestry right now is also don't limit yourself to the classroom experience. I would say my master's, even in South Africa, I only use academic as a platform to be where I want to be. But I didn't limit myself to the whole academic environment alone. I was using the academic because as a student, I can apply for this, I can apply for that. So I seize it as a moment to key into experiences, networking, opportunities, like finding myself where I want to be. Like, okay, I just don't want to sit down study. I've studied my bachelor. Now I'm in international environments, like for a master's. I should think beyond all this classroom
Beyond
stuff.
reading. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get.
beyond the reading. Where do I really want to find myself? Am I on that path? Like, I need to network. connect with people. So in this world now, I think networking is very important because article, like we're lots, lots.
You are
Like,
free to speak any language. However,
sorry.
more of English because our viewers are
No, maybe I
they
can
speak
chip in
another.
French.
Yeah.
But my point is like the world we are right now, 2024, 2025. It's not compulsory you study forestry. Either you studied forestry, you studied conservation biology, you studied marine science, you study environmental program, you study geographical information system. What matters right now is your skills, your network. At the
Hmm.
end is what do you have to offer. I'm at the
I
UN
agree.
base and I can tell you forestry division, we have a lot of people that did not study forestry, but they study
Hmm.
stuff like data science, programming, they study GIS. At the end, we are talking about forestry, but then we need
Mostly
skills to address problems. So at the end, they go for people with the skills, the innovation. So it's not about, I know that forestry is depreciating, there's deforestation, there is this.
what can
Now the
you
word
do?
is, what can
Hmm.
you do to be part of it? The world is into the solution. And most time everything is now tech based, data,
Hmm.
this. So beyond the knowledge, empower yourself with skills too. So that when you find yourself there, I would say it like when I was there, even as an intern, people might look at you and feel like, okay, you don't know a lot. But the skills you have, that's when you prove them like, I can do this. And then they look at you like, wow,
Really?
then they trust you and give you more task. Okay, get this done, get this done. They trust you to do more. So at the end, they know you study it. Yes. But what's the point of you studying a project? I mean, a course, but then you don't have the skills to deliver or render a solution. But then someone that did not really study this course have the
I'm doing
skills
better.
to provide solution. And the person can just take certificate course on forestry, land use to have a background knowledge.
Hmm.
So beyond the program, like skills, very important, networking, very important, mentorship, very important. I mean, 2024. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for answering that question. That's detailed. We have a question on the section, on the comment section before we go to the next, or maybe the last question I have on the list. The person said, currently I am 32. Can I still apply? I think the person is male.
Maybe. The truth is, it depends. Like the person had to go to the website and try to check. Like I mentioned, every year it's changed. For this year now, like I don't know, but last year it was 30.
Okay.
And there was a time they wrote 31. So for this year, like the person needs to check, like, can I apply? And I think I will also say, don't limit yourself to Mastercard alone. There are other scholarship, Erasmus, you are free to apply. Dad, if so far you have 2 years of experience, you are free to apply.
Commonwealth.
So
Many
yeah,
of
and there are
them.
even university with funding, you can apply. So if Mastercard says, okay, you've exceeded this age limit, there are other scholarship that does not look at age.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah. So but the person should try and check the website as well.
Okay, we answered your question, Nicholas. So my next question would be, what do you think is the role of social media now
Eh,
for professional development, professional growth, networking? Because this generation now, we look into comedy. We are not, I'll say we are not really serious with our dreams sometimes, especially for undergraduates still in 100 level, 200 level, trying to change. Maybe I'll go back to another course. What do you think is the role of social media, the negative, the positive, and how it can help, how we can tailor and help our dreams? Advice
okay.
for undergraduates. Yeah.
I think I'll be very
Please.
blunt. I'll be very,
Okay.
very blunt. Like social media is very important. It can destroy you and it can build you. Now, I
Hmm.
would say some numbers of way where it has helped me. For example, when I applied for, okay, right from undergraduate, I think for me, I just like to write things. I created like a blog then I didn't even know what I was doing. But then I just created a blog. I will read some things on deforestation. I'll try to do my own analysis, write something, publish it on my blog, just trying to put myself out there. And at some point, okay, I also wrote an article. There is this Global Youth for Nature. I think you know about it
Yeah,
as
I
well.
know.
So
Yeah.
I publish with them as well, just to create my social media presence. And on my Twitter, I think it's no longer I use Twitter, but these are the activities you will see on my page. Now, when I applied for IUCN internship, I think one of the a second stage interview, what they asked us to
Mm.
share is like something you've published online at some point, share the link.
Oh, and that was
And I
useful. Wow.
and I had to go back to all my history blog, everywhere I had things published to show them like, okay, this is me over time. Because they also need, even though you'll be doing, I was forest conservation intern with them, but even though you'll be doing a lot of technical work, they also need somebody to support with the social media
Exactly. Most of them
platform
now.
and yeah,
Article, yeah. I volunteer with
exactly.
RSPB now. And one of my
Mm,
roles include article posting on the website, blah blah blah.
exactly.
Coming up with
Exactly.
topics myself, so it doesn't need to. I don't need to wait for the topics. I need to think about topics that are relevant currently and put up something.
Hmm.
So I think,
Exactly. And in South Africa, I have a girl. I took her like a sister. She's in like this Nigeria secondary school basic, but she's in the final year right now. But
okay.
she looks up to me. She likes me a lot. She loves everything I was doing then. And one thing she asked me is, what should I be doing? Because definitely when she's done, she would like to apply for undergraduate scholarship. And I told
Mm-hmm.
her, like, open a blog, start
Okay.
writing stories on what you love doing, like
Mm.
analyze the word, put your own opinion out there, and she's doing it even till date.
Okay.
So social media is very relevant. Like my current job as an ecosystem restoration monitoring consultant, I still do with social media. I was reading, because I'll resume back October 2nd, and I was reading my terms of reference, my new TOR, and one of it is to keep information updated on the social media platform, create
Platforms.
YouTube
Exactly.
videos. And I like, you these people. Now you are using my video technique that I should be using it for you guys. They too,
Mm.
everybody's doing a job, but at the same time, they want to be seen. So when you have these extra techniques like social media platform, they will really
Mm.
like you because they know that you help them, like you bring them out somehow. You're
You
able
will
to
be
give
their
them
voice
idea.
at some time.
Yeah, you be
Mm.
their voice. And somehow it will help you, because if you're applying for anything and you're able to provide, I used to have a website of my own website then, like, and
Oh,
you are able to show something that have shown everything you've done over time. Imagine through your undergraduate, you are running a media platform and you are writing all your passion and everything. Now you are done, you want to apply for scholarship. You have something to show. This is what I've been doing. I'm not just waking up and saying I want to do something. So they
obviously,
believe
yeah.
in you with evidence that you have. So I would say it's very, very social media is very, very important. But sometimes I know there are a lot of fake things on social media. For example, I get tired of LinkedIn sometimes. I mean, when I was looking for a
Mm.
job, I got tired because you see people posting every day. If you're not careful, you might even have ads attack with LinkedIn.
I
But then just be
someone said
yourself.
that recently. Yeah, like I don't want to come to LinkedIn. I get really
I'm
depressed. Like
serious.
so,
I
it's
usually
like
run away
I'm
from
behind.
LinkedIn too.
Hmm. It's like I
I
said,
usually run
most things,
away.
some things are real, but some things are just exaggeration. How will
Yeah,
you finish an
exactly.
online course with University of Oxford and you said you graduated from Oxford? How does that correlate? So sometimes it's just exaggeration.
But then I understand people too. Like life is a
They're
stage.
just putting themselves out there. Yeah.
Life is a
Mm.
stage. Everybody wants to put it. Everybody's looking for opportunity, and you want to
Yeah.
be seen. So if you're still at a stage whereby you are still finding yourself, and you wake up every day, LinkedIn, you see a lot of things. In as much as you're happy for people, so if you're not careful, sometimes you might be depressed as well. So you need
Mm.
to, like, for me, like naturally, I'm okay. Like where I am, I'm okay. I have a good job. I'm working, but still sometimes I stay off LinkedIn because
Mm.
sometimes you start questioning yourself, like, am I really doing enough?
That's what the guy said. Like, I'm behind. My colleagues are doing better. Like, what am I doing in my life? So I think I understand. Mm.
But then be
Just go.
yourself, utilize
I'm
the
tripping.
platform, no pressure, enjoy the moment,
No
seize the
pressure.
moment.
Just go with your own pace. I really appreciate you, Temi. Yeah, thank you for showing up. I tried to
Welcome.
match the career path story which I penned
Yeah.
for the scholarship era. Thank you so much for showing up once again. We hope this information really help our prospective scholars who are looking forward to winning scholarship, and we wish them all the best. So try to wish
Thank
them the
you.
best. We come to the end of our show.
Okay. Guys, I really wish you the very best. And the journey is not an easy one. It's very tough. I mean, I remember when I was getting like rejection. Imagine applying for scholarship lots and in a week you're just receiving rejection back to back.
Sincerely.
It's really draining. Sometimes you might even cry like, what is happening? But don't give up. Like, repackage yourself, repackage your CV, repackage your letters, and if you need help, like, reach out to people that have gone ahead to also guide. So it's a draining process, but don't give up. Just that 1 year will change a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think that's all
We
I
have
have
a
to
last
say.
question here. My
Okay.
work experience has not been in line with what I studied in the university. How would you suggest and advise I go about this, especially when applying for scholarship? I think the CV is conflicting. The academic history and the work experiences. Any
It's
advice
expected. It's expected. Like, I mean, a lot of people have shared their CV with me, and what they've been doing over
there?
time does not really resonate with the background. So for me, what I would say in honest way is that if you're applying for scholarship, they want to see that, okay, you have the experience or the skills. Example, okay, I'm working ecosystem restoration monitoring consultant.
Mhm.
People will think I do a lot of work, research this, but at the end, the major skills that I know that I'm applying is into data sciences, GIS, and all of that. So if I'm applying for any position, no matter the job you are doing, they shall want skills that resonates with it. So try to bring out that, like, what you did that resonates with it from that skills. You know, they like, okay, I'm doing communication. I studied forestry. I can relate it to conservation communication. I don't know if
Hmm.
you get. So try to
Yeah.
bring that skills out and just try to key it in how it match. Except you have your own like vision. This is what I want to study. This is what I want to. So for you to have that constant vision, this is what I want to study, and it does not align with my experience. It means you have a strong motivation and justification to put in your letter of motivation on the reason why you are switching career path and why your background does not align. I mean, the
Hmm.
reason we need to eat, we need income. So they need to reason. But another suggestion is if you can also volunteer with NGOs. I know a lot of people that are working in bank and they've moved outside forestry, but they also try to
Yeah.
like work with NGOs. So with that NGO part, they try to like key into their career. And even working in the bank, we have things like climate finance now, so you can,
Hmm.
there's a way you can still relate it, the financing
As the
aspect,
business funding,
the
something like
business
that.
aspect. Yeah, you can just chip in the skills. So at the end, connect the dots. So that's just it.
Hmm. And the last advice from me would be that I had a scholar on the platform a few weeks ago who won the Ibn Rashid scholarship. He said the scholarship doesn't look into what you studied. They want to see why you want to change, why you want to do
Hmm.
or study in the
Exactly.
next program. So you can check the video, you can email the guy, my friend, he can mentor you on how to apply. Thank you so much for coming. And see you next time,
Thank you.
Tammy. All the
Thank
best
you
with
for
your career.
having me. All right.
Yeah.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Bye.